Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So today we're going to be talking about why I had such a strong resistance to feminine energy and femininity work. So I wanted to oh my gosh, I'm about to tell my business. Oh, you ladies. Okay. All right, let's do this. I've been putting out this video, okay? Because there's certain aspects of my life that I was just like, I don't know if I'm ready to tell all my business out there. But you know what? There are certain things that I think a couple of ladies can learn. They can learn from it. And don't repeat the same mistakes that I made, okay? Promise me, because that is, if you promise me, AB, okay, if you do this video, I promise not to make the same mistakes that you made. I'll be happy and I'll be like, it's worth it. Okay. We made a deal. Don't forget. Okay. So for me, I would say growing up, I grew up in a household where my parents were, I would say they were woke, right? They were woke. Like my dad and my mom were like, go to school, get a job, things like that, right? And they were pretty liberal too. But a lot of the influences, a lot of African cultures have influences from the West. So, the whole feminist thing, there are parts in African culture where it's running too. And what I noticed as part of my circle of friends and relations as well, that's women, of course, is that we were all thinking alike when it came to the concept of femininity. So one of the reasons why when I say we, I mean the women around me, that the vision or the representation of femininity wasn't very pleasant. So even when we were brought up to, have our own and do all those things, it was easy for us to push aside our feminine nature because what we saw, we did not like it. I mean, I can tell you, ladies, time after time, when I would hear the role of a woman, I would be like, ew. Like, why? I would question why God made me a woman, because I'm like, I don't want to live that life. Like, everything within me, even though I wasn't living life from a very healthy standpoint. I'll be honest with you, ladies. Your girl was not, that was not me. Oh, this was not me, that. But what I noticed about myself was that all parts of me were not aligned with the representation of femininity that we were seeing. What is this representation? So the representation that we were seeing was a doormat, a woman that has no backbone, or a people pleaser to the extreme, to like a power of 100, a woman that has to sacrifice herself for others, a woman that is at everybody's beck and call and feels like that's what womanhood is about. A woman that, even though she is educated and she is independent, I'll explain later why I use that word, but she doesn't live life from her own terms. She lives life according to what society determines for her. So when you grow up and you learn to embrace your masculine energy and it feels good and it gives you a false sense of power. I use that word because I'll tell you ladies why. When you then look at what femininity means, you get grossed out because you're like, I don't want that life. I'm not a peasant. So therefore I don't want to live like a peasant, right? And most of the time, most of the women that were living that life of peasantry, and pardon me if I use that word, but in that time, that's how it felt, right? And so growing up and seeing that, it was like, when I say femininity, that was what I thought. And I was like, that's not me, never, right? And I think that if a lot of us had seen femininity in a way that in its true form, I don't think there would be a lot of women who would be disassociating themselves from their femininity. So one core reason is they did not see femininity at all. Another core reason is that what they saw they did not like, and now that they had all this power, they can choose not to embrace that. And when I think back, I'm just like, there were certain aspects of femininity that was taught to me, like my parents taught me that, but I couldn't receive it because the way that my brain was programmed was that masculinity was more valuable than femininity. That's the way my brain was programmed. So even when certain aspects of femininity were taught to me, I didn't want that. Because why should masculinity get to enjoy all the benefits and I don't? Right? That was the mindset. That was the mindset. And it's funny now, right? It's funny, it's like, AB, that's a long time. It is, but I wonder the amount of women that are still thinking that way. Look at the stats, right? There are a lot of women that way. There are a lot of women that way, and I was lucky enough that I was forced to accept my femininity. Let's be clear, I was forced to do it. But there are women who have been forced and they still refuse to accept their femininity because all they have seen is that misrepresentation of what a true feminine woman, of what a healthy feminine woman looks like. What they see is the wounded feminine woman, not the healthy one. So in a way, my heart goes out to them. My heart goes out to them. And I want to give you ladies 3 things that can help you. Like if you have a story similar to mine where, where you experience that, right? One of the first things I would say is that commit yourself to doing healing every day. Like when I started doing, inner work, going to therapy and things like that, I did the first level of healing, which allowed me to then, see myself in a different state and accept who I was. But because I had lived my life from that overdriven masculine energy perspective, I had to commit myself to making sure that I am doing the work every day to heal and become whole. It is so easy. Like, it is so easy for you to lose your femininity in this day and age. It's so easy. When you go out, like, what you're going to see is, there's a lot of masculine energy representations that you can forget, and it's like, oh, who cares, right? But I want to come here and tell you that please don't let that light dim. Please. I've been on YouTube for how long now? Please don't let that light dim, because each time I create one of these videos for you guys, you have no idea the joy that comes from it, because I'm like, you know what? If one woman sees this video, I've done my job. Okay? I have done my job. I've done my part. And I can go about my business. All right? So please commit yourself to do this every day. Commit yourself to embracing who you are as a woman. And why wouldn't you want to? I mean, girl, your life gets easier. Duh. Like, you get what you want. Duh. You get to have what you want. So why wouldn't you want to be a woman? Right? Why would you want, like, I'm trying to think about why would a woman not choose this? I don't know. Okay? But it does require work. It does require work. It does require effort. It does require being intentional about it. I've shared some of my practices with you guys, right? So it's a decision that I choose to make every day even when I get into circumstances where I'm forced to be in my masculine in a way that I don't want to, so in an unconscious way, I try to take a step back and remember that AB, you're committed to do this, okay? You're committed to this, and you don't want to start acting out of integrity with yourself, right? You're committed to this, and that helps me. Knowing that I come online and talk to you guys about this, that helps me. That keeps me in check, because then I remember, like, hey, you're not gonna go on that video and talk about something that you're not doing, right? So I that doesn't make me feel good, right? So that helps. Another thing that I would say is make sure, or try your best to surround yourself with women that are aligned with where you're going. See, let me tell you ladies something. I remember when I first started this journey, right? And when you go into the presence of, some of your friends or relations that have known you to be one way, they can start questioning, like, why all of a sudden, why do you look like this? Why are you sounding like this? Why are you doing like this, right? It's like, what is your agenda? And, it's when it's coming from like family or friends, it's a lot harder to process that than if it's coming from strangers, right? So what I would say is that as much as you're doing this transformation, make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that want to see you grow, want to see you win. For me, I'm so lucky. Like, I have family that is like, AB, go girl, right? So I did not, my immediate family supports my work and things like that. So I didn't have to go through that struggle. But outside immediate family, you have extended family, they're like, who's this girl, right? So, but I know I've heard of women who, they get pushbacks from their mom, they get pushbacks from their sisters, from their aunts, like, why are you embracing your feminine energy? Why are you doing this? Are you using this to trap people? Things like that, right? This, why are you dressing up all of a sudden? Why are you looking so cute, right? Things like that. If that is you, please make sure that you're taking the extra effort to protect your peace and put yourself in the presence of women that align with that. If you cannot find any woman that aligns with that, go online. If you cannot find them in your city, go online and find them. There are many groups of feminine women where they just talk about, their growth and their healing and things like that, right? It's important. Don't try to convince anybody to be in their feminine energy when you are on this journey or you're just starting, right? Allow them choose that, because when they choose it then becomes their idea and they are motivated to work towards it. All of the women that have come into my sphere, I did not sit them down and say, okay, you have to be in your feminine. Unless you're my clients, then they have given me that permission to do that to them, right? To coach them out of it, right? Or coach them into it, right? But I wouldn't go to a place and start talking about feminine energy. No, never. What I do is I allow my energy speak for myself. I allow my energy speak for itself. And what tends to happen is people will be studying me and watching me. It's like, who's this? Okay, who does she think she is? Or, okay, I'll have what she's having, right? And then when they come into my presence, they can feel that energy and they're like, okay, maybe we'll start to pay attention a little bit, right? So allow your light shine for yourself. Allow the embodiment shine for itself. This is why I teach you ladies that information is not embodiment, so you need to do the work to become the thing. Okay, so allow that light shine. Find groups that can support you. Don't try to convince anybody to be in their feminine energy. That is not your job. You were not paid for it, so stop it. If you're doing that, stop it and focus on your life and allow your actions change their perspectives, not the other way around. And a final encouragement that I wanted to give is enjoy it. Like, one of the things I love feminine energy work is because it taught me how to have fun. Prior to this, what was fun? Like, who does that? right? But when I started embracing femininity, I'm like, oh my gosh, life is so fun, right? And I noticed that I started like enjoying life more, right? The little things in life, I notice them and I enjoy them. So have fun with it. Like, this is, even though you have to do this every day, it's not this dreary thing that you are forced to do, right? It's fun. It's fun. Like, who doesn't like to have fun? I mean, sign me up for it, okay? Thank you. Okay. You ladies don't mind me, but it's important that you're having fun with it. Celebrate your little wins, the times where you are not acting in integrity with yourself. Own it, learn from it, and keep it moving. Keep moving forward, because you will get to where you want to go. Trust me. And when you do, you're going to notice that it is all worth it. It will be worth it. So hang in there, okay? All right. So I hope this video was useful to you ladies. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video too, so other women can see this content. Other than that, I will see you in my next video. Bye.